The BBC said Primark used these 3 boys to make these 3 brown tops. It was a lie, concocted by this man, producer Dan McDougall. In 2008, the BBC Panorama programme went big on the allegation that one of Primark's suppliers used child labour. This video, showing boys pretending to work on brown sequined tops for Primark, was a centrepiece of the programme. But the BBC Trust has found the video was a fake. The man on the left is the one who faked it. He's Dan McDougall, a journalist working for BBC Panorama. We set out to follow his trail. Our investigation started in Tirupur, centre of the Indian textile industry for knitwear. A subcontractor working for Primark supplier in Pollachi, near Tirupur, whose identity we've concealed, told us that Dan McDougall had visited her and bought 3 of these brown sequined tops. That was on the 24th of February 2008.
Did you yourself give that man you showed in the photograph? Did you personally give him 3 of these garments?
We did electronic one. We decision she's in charge of this garment, and she was the one who had given these 3 pieces to the foreigner who had come to her.
Dan McDougall took the 3 brown sequined tops from Tirupur to Bangalore, 300 kilometres away, where they reappeared the following day, the 25th of February. In a Bangalore workshop, Dan McDougall videoed 3 boys with the 3 brown sequined tops. The BBC claimed the sequins were being tested.
They're testing the stitching so the sequins don't end up falling off in the hands of customers back in Britain.
But sequins aren't tested like this. We found the boys and they told us what had really happened on the 25th of February 2008.
I'm going to pass you another picture if he could hold up. Does he recognise any of the people in this picture?
ये फोटोग्राफ में आप किसी को पहचानते हो?
हाँ इसको.
He identified himself.
And how does he recognise this person?
आप कैसे इनको पहचानते हो?
ये हमको लाके दिया था घर ये करोगे.
He is a person who bought this brown garment to him.
You're pointing to a garment. Can you tell me why you're pointing to that garment?
ये garment आप दिखा रहे हो. तो ये क्यों इस पे foreigner क्या बोला आपको?
इसमें से हाथ हिलाओ.
अच्छा foreigner आपको बोला कि इसमें से हाथ हिलाओ. Okay. Foreigner asked him to pretend as if he is working on this garment.
And have you ever worked on similar garments to the brown one that you've identified?
आपने कभी भी इसके पहले ये से brown garment पे ऐसा कुछ काम किया हुआ है?
नहीं.
No, he has never worked on this type of garment.
Dan McDougall emailed the BBC to say he'd filmed in Tirupur children aged between 9 and 13 hand-beading sequined women's tops for Atmosphere, a Primark brand. He sent the email on February the 24th, but in reality filmed the boys a day later in Bangalore, 300 kilometres away. This shows he planned to fake the footage. There's another puzzle revealed by the BBC. On February the 24th, Dan McDougall filmed these women sewing sequin tops in Pollachi near Tirupur. Although he was in the habit of using a new tape each day, when he filmed the boys on the 25th, he reused the Pollachi tape from the day before to try to make it look like continuous footage. He produced the tops and asked the boys to pretend to work on them. However, he didn't realise the digital date code on the tape would expose the lie. Dan McDougall had first met the boys when he'd filmed them 2 months earlier embroidering cloth to be sold in India by Indian retailers. The boys said this work, embroidering chapel, which is cloth for ladies' footwear, is what they were doing in February when the BBC claimed they were working on tops for Primark's supplier.
And your occupation in January, February, March and April 2008?
आप जनवरी, फरवरी, मार्च, अप्रैल 2008 में क्या काम करते थे?
चप्पल.
ये एक ही काम करते थे? chappal. He was working only on the ladies' footwear.
चप्पल का
चप्पल का जो पहले बताया वही.
चप्पल का कलर
He was working on a footwear.
चप्पल का इधर का
Okay. He was only working on a footwear embroidery. That is a ladies' footwear embroidery.
In fact, if you look closely, you can see what they were working on under the brown top. It's illegal in India for companies to employ anyone under the age of 14. At least one of the boys is working illegally, but not for Primark's supplier. Primark's code of conduct prohibits child labour, and Primark is working with partners in the local communities and factories where its products are made to ensure no one aged under 16 is employed. Primark is pleased the BBC Trust has found Dan McDougall guilty of faking the video of the boys, and that everyone now knows the truth.